Got all the stuff moved out, taped off. I'm going to be running this air purifier system while I'm doing this. Put a heavy duty layer of plastic down, then a thick drop cloth. Taped it off. You see, I'm going to have to replace this. See all that termite damage. Let's replace all that. Probably cut back to right in here. See that decorative pattern up there in this pan? I do not want to mess with that. So I'm going to put my level up here and cut back about 3 inches, and I'll just splice in there. I know there's nothing wrong with this header. But that one back against the fireplace is gone. So I'm going to start the demo, and then we'll pick it up from there. What a mess. So they ate all the way down to there, right here on the base plate. They've ate every bit of this up. That's 3 2x4s stacked together, and I can push my finger all the way through them. It didn't look like they ate. They started eating a little bit of the header over the window, but not much. Most of that looks pretty good. They've ate all that top plate. I'm still going back this way. Little indication on these. When you're chasing these, if you still see the dirt on the outside of the drywall, they're still eating. So they probably ate that top plate all the way back to here, and I may end up having to pull this off to see if they ate more. So I have to tear the drywall all the way off to there. You can see where I replaced the tails last time I was here. Spliced to what little was left. I need to cut that out. All this is gone. That's a 2x4 that I'm pulling out with my fingers. There's a double top plate. Bad thing is the header is right here, and they've ate that totally up. I was hoping that was sitting on top of the fireplace, but it is not. It goes all the way back. So I'm probably going to have to end up cutting the brick here, having a masonry guy come in and replace this, and replace this entire header all along this fireplace. You also see I got a crack here. This one tail is helping support this header. You can kind of see where it's bowing. I probably need to get a jack in here and jack this up to keep this header from falling anymore. That one tail right there is what's helping hold the load of this lamb beam. The rest of these don't have a load on them. That one doesn't. It's just swaying in the wind. That one does. This one here for sure has a load on it. So I'm going to get my pole jack and jack this up and try to get the load off of this tail. And that's all because the header is gone. The header, this is the, looks like maybe a 2x6 header over the fireplace, and maybe a 2x8 actually. It's gone. The whole top seal's gone. So when all that went away, these tails and these usually don't carry a load on these headers. They're usually carried at the ends. They overlap and sit on the wall joist on either side of the house. But this long span, this was helping keep this header from bowing. You can see more of where I spliced in the new tails. You just had to keep going until you get to where they haven't ate anymore. They're still eating in there. That's 2x4, so I'm gonna have to keep tearing that way. I may end up having to tear this whole wall, all the drywall off this entire section of wall. What a nightmare. I'll have to end up going that way. I was hoping it was just right here inside. usually they eat a whole lot more than you think. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of the homeowner. This house did have a termite inspection. However, in my area, they look around the outside, they look underneath the house. That's pretty much the extent of their termite inspection. The only way you would have seen this was to come inside and see the dirt that was on the trim here by the fireplace. That would have been it. Unless you tore the roof off, there was no way from up in the attic, with this being a chimney and it being such a slanted roof, there's no way you would have seen any of this damage. So the only indication was this little bit of rot that was along this side of the fireplace, which was a lot. So more to come. Alright, so here's where we're at. It's still eating. I'm on the other side of the fireplace. That top plate's still rotten. They have rotted the header over the fireplace from one side to the other. It's soft here, so they've ate every bit of that. So about right here on this brick line, you have to cut that all the way off, drop that brick down, redo it, replace the entire top seal, probably all the way across. They probably ate back at least another rafter here. I don't know the extent of the damage there because I haven't gone any further. I did end up going all the way to this corner, and there is still somewhat looks like they stopped, but without tearing or off, I don't know. The tails look decent. Excuse me, for the most part. Seal plate's gone. Head over the fireplace is gone. We've got a crack in the fireplace. This lamb beam here is sagging right there at that joist. Basically what I did at this point is I have done insurance work for termite companies before. But every company's different. Some of them want to use their own contractors. They have certain guys that they use for their work. So I called the customer and let him know that the extent of the damage was a lot more than I originally thought. Termite damage, you never know until you dig into it. You could have a small trail on the outside of a sheet of drywall and they could have ate the entire wall up. So I told him to contact his insurance company. Told him I'd be willing to come back and fix it, but he needed to get with them first to find out what they wanted to do. And now I am seeing some more water damage there up by the chimney. Could have swore I replaced that, but I apparently didn't go all the way over. Yeah, I stopped right there, so I should have went another span. Anyway, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and clean up, and then wait for him to get a hold of his insurance company and find out what they want to do. Told him the extent of the damage. This is a lot bigger job than what I originally expected. I can do it, but he probably needs to get his termite insurance company involved at this point, and see what they say. So we may be back on this one, we may not. So if nothing else, you just got to keep tearing until you get to where you don't see any more dirt trails and the wood's solid. And then you just rebuild from there. It's just aggravating that whole top 5 layers of brick has to come off in order to fix this right. And I'm going to put a support beam in right here because that lamb beam is sagging. I don't want that falling in the interim. But for now, I'm going to go get a bunch of trash bags and clean this mess up, and then I'll go on to the next one. It is unreal how much damage they can do. That's 3 2x4s all stacked. Yeah, that's where I put my finger all the way through a 2x4. You should not be able to do that. We'll probably end up replacing the window as well. Lots and lots of damage. See y'all later.